So in this video, I'm not going to show you how to install it. I was very surprised to learn that I saved because I think this one is truly unique. I'm super excited about this. What's going on, everybody? Brent Simmons here with Roofing Insight. So a couple months ago, I received a phone call from my Atlas rep, and he told me about some ridge vent that they made. And that he's going to send me some samples, and he wanted me to do a little review of it. Well, I now have everything, and I was very surprised to learn that they didn't just make one ridge vent, they didn't make two, but they have a total of 8 different vents that they have made. So in this video, I'm not going to show you how to install it. I actually want to show you the differences between the different kinds of vents, because there's a wide range here, and they've got some really crazy and neat stuff. So let's jump right into this. So it seems like they're broken down into 2 main product lines. You have what's called High Point, and then you have TruRidge. And it looks like the difference is the High Point is going to have more variety. I'm assuming these are a little bit higher end. And the TruRidge is more like your run-of-the-mill, basic ridge vent that we're all used to installing. This is their high-performance ridge vent. I believe it's made to accommodate more designer shingles. It's got a different profile. It's real smooth, kind of sleek. But the inside, they're both filtered. They make a standard High Point and High Point XL. All right. The next High Point product they make, which I'm super excited about this. This is one that I can't wait to get my hands on and actually put on a house. But they actually made something called Invisaridge. If you look, it's basically the same nailing width or shingle width without the external baffles. So what they've done is they've made a ridge vent where when you install your ridge cap shingles, it's going to completely cover this, and all the baffles are on the inside. I think that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what that's going to look like. So the next really cool, innovative product that they've made, another one that I'm really excited about, is their Stealth Ridge. So I'm going to compare it to the High Point again. It's basically one of these XL performance ridge vents, but in half. And I know we've all dealt with someone who wants the added ventilation, but they don't necessarily like the look of ridge vent. I think this is a good solution to that. This is a one-sided ridge vent. So if this is your ridge cap is going to cover here. So from the front of the house, you're not going to see it. You could basically do all your exhaust on the back side of the house, or the front. Like if they have a pool, they don't want to see it from the pool, you can pick. But I think this is really neat. I'm excited to try this one out myself. So the last product they have in the High Point line is their intake vent. This seems to be similar to some of the other intake vents that are out there. In my opinion, good job, Atlas. If you're going to have 7 different ridge vents, you got to have an intake vent. But what I think is really handy about these intake vents, if you haven't used them, these are really great for homes that have no soffit at all. If you've done enough roofs, you've ran into homes that literally have no way to vent the soffit because it just doesn't exist. These come in real handy for that. So this is a great product. I love these types of intake vents, so great job, Atlas. All right, so that's it for the High Point products. Now they have another line called TruRidge, and these ridge vents are very similar to what I think we're all used to using. This one has an external baffle. They just call this their TruRidge exhaust vent. It's not as smooth on the outside. It's got these little ridges. I really don't know what those are for, but I'm sure there's a lot of science behind it. So they have the TruRidge exhaust vent, then they have the all-weather. Only difference is you've got a filter. So that's the TruRidge exhaust vent. But the last one I saved because I think this one is truly unique. The Invisaridge is awesome. The Stealth Ridge is super innovative, but this one's handy. This is probably the one I'm going to try to use first. This is the TruRidge Pro. It looks very similar to the other TruRidge exhaust vent, but what makes this really unique is that you can actually use a coil nail to install these. So instead of having to use those 3-inch ring shank nails that come along the side of the ridge vent or come in a little bag, you can actually buy 1 3/4 coil nails and install these with your gun. That saves a lot of time. It removes a lot of confusion. If you've done enough roofs, you've had enough crews, you know there's always that guy that's going to try to use a coil nail even though he's not supposed to. This eliminates that problem, and I think this is really neat. It's a little bit thinner, more low profile, but it definitely addresses a need from an installer standpoint, and yeah, I think this is an awesome product. So when I got all these in the mail, I wasn't assuming 8 different boxes, and my initial thought was, before I really dug into this and saw the difference between these, I was honestly going to call up my rep and say, hey, you need to tell the R&D department to lay off the Adderall. But after digging into this, these address different needs that nobody else seems to address. So you've got everything from a regular ridge vent to one that hides the shingle, one that hides the ridge vent, and one that makes it easier to install. So that covers all 8 products. I'd like to say, all in all, Atlas, y'all did a fantastic job. As for me, I'm signing out. I'm Brent Simmons, Roofing Insights. Stay tuned for some more really cool products. Thanks.